Hello, my soul brothers and soul sisters. I am Ron Smith, and this is the Ron Smith Investigate Show, where we separate the real from fake, the fact from fiction, and give you the winner's edge. And sometimes we're able to turn your water into wine. We are continuing our series on the talk, and this is the money talk. Today, we're going to talk about your money mindset. I know many of you may not have heard of that term before, and many of you have. So a lot of you, this would be by way of review, and some of this would be new information. The money mindset. I want to talk about your mental, your physical, and your spiritual mindset dealing with money. Do you remember the first time that you actually was exposed to money, or that you overheard someone else talking about money? Oftentimes it is, especially in my case, it was more of that I got to pay this and I got to do this and I got to do this with money. It was never something that a person that I knew or had control of. It was something that was a tool that person used to expand their position in. It was always something to do the immediate within these 30 days. It's amazing how you could purchase a car and you purchase a home, how fast 30 days come. How do you really think about money? That's a rhetorical question, but sometimes we don't really take time to really answer those things. How do we really think about money? Is it to buy stuff, or is it to that immediate gratification, or is it what we call the medium of exchange, that because I want to purchase something and I got to have it? Do we ever think about how we can use money as a tool to move us to another level? Physically, have you ever imagined that basically physically that you, when you have money, you feel good? Seem like the sun is shining, the bird is chirping, the wind is blowing at your back, and the sun is at your face, and everything is just going your way. And then when you don't have it, it appears that there's a dark cloud over your head. Everything appears to be gloomy. You have the fear and anxiety of everything that's going on into your circumstances. That basically, when people talk about it, you either feel your stomach start cramping up because you have the lack thereof, or you feel the chills of somebody actually winning, talking about they have more money. Those are some of the things that you feel, the mental and physical part. And spiritually, when people talk about the lottery winners, and when you talk about somebody giving to a charity, how those things feel? Do you feel that they open you up, or do you feel yourself you're shutting down? Do you feel anxious about what's going to happen next? This is the month of April, and April 18th is the tax deadline. Do you think about basically that, are you going to get a refund, or are you going to pay no taxes, or do you owe taxes? This is a month a lot of people go through anxiety. It's there's several scriptures in the Bible that talks about money. Matter of fact, there's about 2,500 talk about money. Two that I want to mention is that in Luke 12:34, it said, where your heart is, that's where your treasure is, that's where your heart is also. And that goes to the whole mindset. Where your heart is, that's where your treasure is also. So, and Ecclesiastes 10:19 said, money answer all things. And we know all things is everything under heaven. Everywhere you go, there is I would say dollar signs. If you once you get up out of your bed, if you're from your sleeping wear to your sheets to your bed costs money. When you get out of your bed, you put your feet in your slippers. Those things cost money. You go to the bathroom, you brush your teeth, your toothbrush, toothpaste, Listerine. You wash your face, you jump in the shower, the soap, the face cloths, the towels that you use. It costs money. Everywhere you move, there's a dollar sign. You get in your car, that costs money. You turn the key, the gas in your vehicle costs money. You go to work or you go to schools so you can learn and to earn more money. You go to lunch, that's going to cost money. Everything that you move and touch costs money. So why is one of them talking about money and learning how to invest and to enhance the money that you have? Why is that not a priority? I would like basic fundamental budgeting and talking about basic finance, to be one of the major subjects that we have in school. It's amazing how we are surrounded by everything, as I it just explained about money, but nobody actually has a curricular in school to teach us how to better enhance our relationship with money. There's no secret that the simple way that I can tell you about money is basically you could earn more and spend less. That's fundamentally those are things that basically within your control that you can do. Earn more and spend less. But let's go into a little more detail with that, and I try to keep it simple. And my rule is the 40-30-20-10, which means 40% of your earned income, whether that's you earn it through employment or you earn it through your entrepreneur creation, or you have a business, which means that your housing and your transportation are two things that basically in order to enhance your life and enhance the life of others, you have to make sure you focus in on. So those are the things that are necessary. And then you go into the 30%, which I call discretionary spending, which those are the things that, that I talked about. That could be from the toothpaste to the clothes that you buy, and the things that are necessary for you to be the person that that you are designed to be. And then I go with the 20%. 20% is things that basically I would call saving and investing. And this is really just a raw numbers, and there's no cutting in stone because these things shift, and it's like a sliding scale. But you should have some kind of long-term plan, and your long-term plan should be, if you're married and or if you have children, your retirement and their education should be a part of that long-term plan, as well as saving for those emergency situations. Let's talk about retirement. one of the things that I would advise you to, since your employer will set up a 401k to match whatever percentage that 401k, but also look at a self-directed 401k instead of the regular mutual funds that the company or some financial planner was set up for you. I did mention last time that we are going to get more into that 401k and see where your money is actually stacking up. I call it portfolio money because it actually is paper until you get ready to cash it in. So, but it is very critical that every year you review your statement to see where your money is going. And your 10%. As I've mentioned before, I'm an avid tither, but other people donate to charity, and some people, donate other things. One of the things I think I'm a big proponent of is time, talent, and your 10th. So basically, you can share those things as actually being a good steward. So at this time, we're going to take a break in the action, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about the history of money as this country developed. Let's take a break. Welcome back. I'm Ron Smith, and this is the Dr. Ron Smith Investigating Show. And we're talking about the money talk. One of the things that just an overview that we talked about before the break, we're talking about the money mindset. One of the things that I implore you to do is get serious about your money, because as I mentioned before, everywhere you move, money exists. From the time you lay your head on the pillow to the time you get up, you're talking about your pillows, your sheets, your bed costs money. You put you get out your bed, you put your feet in your slippers. It costs money. You go in the restroom, you turn the water on, costs money. The house that you live in or the apartment that you rent costs money. The toothpaste, the soap, the bath cloths, the towels, the clothes, everything you move, you get in your car, costs money. Whether you're going to school or you're going to the job, those things cost money to get there. And then you got to eat, right? Costs money. All those things cost money. Of course, to be a good steward and be a good person who practice money management and have the right money mindset, there's ways that you can reduce those things. One of the things that I want to bring up before I move on to the history of money is two things that we have to learn how to control when we talk about money, and that is debt and taxes. One of the things on one of my favorite artists, Marvin Gaye, said, three things for sure: debt, taxes, and trouble. So you're not going to be able to escape those things, but you can be able to minimize those things. And one of the things I ask a person is, if you've been working over 10 years, you have earned between $250,000 and $1 million, or $500,000 easily. The thing that you don't have anything to show for it is because of debt and taxes. So once you get those two things under control, I mean, basically You're eliminate as much debt as you possibly can, and actually control your taxes. And then we're gonna in the weeks to come, we're gonna talk more and more about those things. So the history of money. There are several areas that I want to talk about. There's what we used to call the agriculture age, the industrial age, the distribution age, and the technological information age. And in the age we're living now, is something totally new. We got the chat bot GPT that's taking this whole thing by storm. Uh, Even one of the things that I have to adjust in my writing is that I have to stay on top of it because things are moving as faster than it ever had. So during the agriculture age, which basically from biblical times up to the settlers in this United States, what we call quote the founding fathers, they understand that land. If you own land and you was a land baron, and basically that's where the real estate term came from, you were the wealth holders. So the more land you had, the more wealth you accumulated. Now, in order to actually make that land function, you use either free labor, which is slavery, or cheap labor, which is moved over into the sharecropping, especially in this country. So basically, if you had land, those were the wealthy people, and those was the tools that wealthy people had to separate the rich and the poor. Moving from that point on, the industrial age was the age of the machinery, and one of the first things that the cotton gin kind of revolutionized some things. The Model T revolutionized some things. So, and the use of electricity kind of moved things really fast. So basically, the people who own the machinery, the factories, those were the ones who had the wealth. So with that in mind is that now we can do more with the machinery that we can do with the human labor, which created the middle class. Now, what that also created was the educational system, which means that with the educational system created the middle managers who was the college graduates. So with all the production that the industrial age created, you created the next move, which was the distribution. You had to find ways to distribute all these products that was created. So that's when you had the big box stores. That's when Sears and Roebuck took off. That's when Kmart took off. That's when you had all these malls, all these outlet malls, all these other things. They began to take off. And also, that's when people decided that I can be my own business. The multi-level marketing era was created, where you have from Avon to Mary Kay to a lot of the other multi-level marketing came about. And then we moved into what I call the technology information age, which means that basically if you can control the techno know-how, this was when the rise of Bill Gates, Paul Allen, Michael Dell, they created systems where basically they created the technological, what I call the PC age. I remember a time when I was in, I think it was around 1975. Bill Gates made a statement that basically he wanted a desktop, a PC in everybody's home, and everybody would be able to have one. And at that time, I knew the cost of what a PC was at that time. To me, it was like cost prohibited. But at the time, he had a vision. And think about if we were able to be savvy enough to understand that, to invest in those companies from the ground up. And since basically they owned the information, they controlled it. That's when you had the Googles and the Yahoos who kind of control things. Do you remember when, if you were a recording artist, you would have to go to a record company to actually get your song out there, or your album out there? You needed that. That all changed when we went to the technological age, because you can do all those things on your iPhone today. I remember the time that basically you would have to go to a publisher if you was a writer to get your book written, and they were the gatekeepers. As the music industry, the record label was the gatekeeper. But now, basically you can have your own YouTube channel, and you can upload your own stuff. You get enough hits on there, and then basically you can actually distribute your own music. And before I close, one of the things that I've learned over time is that the advice that my mother gave me back, probably back in the 70s, 80s period, was basically, go to school, get good grades, get a good job after you get a college education, and basically you were there probably about 20 years, and then you can retire, and basically you either have your pension or you go into your 401k. What I also know, that what I call living in the past, that would be a great career for somebody from, if they were started a career in the 70s and retired in the 90s. But I cannot give that same information to my children who was born in the late 80s and in the early 90s, because the world has changed. And one of the things about learning about money, we have to understand that technology changed, so does money change, that we have to keep up with what's going on. And a few minutes ago, I mentioned the chat bot GPT. Things have happened so fast. One of the things, and I'll give you an example before we got to sign off, is that there was a bank failure about 2 weeks ago. And the thing about it is that it was a digital bank. In order to have a bank run, normally you had to physically go into the bank and get all your deposits out. But imagine what you can do, even sitting in your bed digitally. You can remove all your assets from a digital bank. That is the world that we're living in right now. So let's adopt a great money mindset, so now we can not live in the past, but live currently and see what the next move is going to be. So, brothers, so soul sisters, my time is up, and I thank you for yours. Until next time.